Okay, so we're ready to bake in Xnormal. Or at least I thought we were, but there is one problem, and I wanted to show you a quick tip for things in 3D. Uh, One thing I noticed is it wasn't baking out properly, and you can see that these high poly meshes are only 5 KB, so somehow there's something wrong with how I'm exporting this. This is just a dumb secret thing about 3D, but a lot of times there's problems that are connected to various objects or nodes or under the hood crap in 3D. And it's very hard to know how to fix it. This is in both Maya and Blender and most software I've known. So one of the easiest ways you can fix this is just add a cube, select the problem object and then your cube, and go Mesh, Combine. So it's replaced all that object node crap with whatever is in this fresh nubile cube. So now I can go in and just delete the cube faces that I don't actually want. And in theory, this will now export correctly. So File, Export Selection, high poly, and export. Now when I right click, add meshes. There it is, high poly 2, look at that. Nice 1.59 megabytes. It's just, it's one of those things that you only learn after doing this for 10 years. So I have that, and I have my low poly mesh here. I do want to go into the 3D viewer and just double check if all these objects are coming in correctly. Make sure I have my scale correct first. Over here you can turn off your high poly or low poly objects, and you can zoom around in this file using a Zwig. You can control and right click to orbit. All the commands are down here. And that looks pretty good. So I think we can start baking from this. Oh yeah. Turn on screencasting. Cool. So now in Xnormal, I can go into my baking options and specify the maps I want. First, I'm going to go to the directory I want, which is going to be zfriends, source images, no, not source images. Let's create a new folder for cowl, and let's call this cowl. I want the size of this to be 1024 by 1024. And we're going to generate a normal map and ambient occlusion map, and that should be good for now. Yeah. And I hit generate, and it starts generating your map. Again, a lot of this is only coming out correctly because I double checked beforehand that my scale was correct and that my exports were correct. And you had to make sure that your UVs are unwrappable. You might notice that there's some problem areas coming in here. Again, the high poly mesh had some very big normals, some of the cloth sim penetrated itself. I don't really care about that because this is just a basis, and from here we can actually use this to generate textures in Photoshop, and we can just clean this up manually. One of the fun things now is if I go to the 3D viewer, it'll have these textures on the mesh. So I'm going to turn off my high poly mesh. Alright, I'm not getting the textures, but that's fine. We'll hook them up in Maya and start messing with them in Photoshop. Cool.